All right, guys, Brady here with DAC Performance and Health, and today I'm going to go through what we do with our one-on-ones. So the first thing that I want to say with our one-on-ones is everything that we go through today is simply going to be the actual process that we go through to get you started so that you can get some idea of how it is that it works. But the primary thing for us in the one-on-ones is not any of this. It is purely getting the actual result that you want, right? So this is all mechanics, but what we actually want to do with our one-on-ones is figure out what it is that you need and then help you to get that. So that is primary, and we will do whatever we have to do to get that for you. This is just the technical setup, the mechanics of how it works, but that is our goal, is to get you whatever it is that you need, whatever it is that you want, and we have a conversation with you to figure out what that is, and then we do whatever it is. We do everything in our power to get that for you, work with you to get that. So that is the most important thing of our one-on-ones. But the specific mechanics of it and what it looks like, so one-on-ones, we'll go through a walkthrough here. So first thing that we'll do with the one-on-ones is registration. So all registration means is we get you signed up, you get your first payment done, and then once that's done, then we're into the one-on-ones. So the first thing that comes after that is you will get two different things. You'll get a one-on-one pack, and I'll show you what that is. So this is the first thing that you get is a one-on-one pack. Go here. So this is our one-on-one pack. So basically what this is, it's a series or it's a packet of information. And so this contains both video content as well as written content that goes through why we train the way that we do. Going through this is optional, although I highly recommend it. If you want to get the most out of your training, you have access to this, and there's around 10 to 13 hours of video, and there's around, I believe, 50 to 75 pages of written content that's walking through why we do what we do, right? And so this is the pack that you'll get. This is not part of like the training, but this is a pack that you'll get immediately upon signing up. So that's the first thing that you'll get is the one-on-one pack. Again, like these are all different things that we use within the training. Highly recommend going through these, but they're not part of the actual programming. They're just like information there for you that you can take in if that's something that you're interested in and if you're the type of athlete that wants to know that. So that is there for you. That's the first thing. Number two, the second thing that you'll get is a link to set up call. Okay, call. And so the link to set up call, it will simply be a Calendly link, and you'll set up a time to talk to your coach, and then that is the first thing that will hop on. So on that call, and usually we'll be able to get that call going within a day or two of you registering. You know, the next day or the day after that should have times ready to go for that, and we're flexible in terms of making sure that we can do that for you. So that is second thing. The first thing, one-on-one pack, then call setup on the call. So on this call, there's specific things that we're going through. Number one is we're going through injury history. And so we're asking you, what have you had? It could relate to the current thing that you have presenting right now, or it may not. We want the full chronological history from the time that you first were born up until now. And the reason that we want to know that is because if there's anything there that is still bugging you that hasn't been fully addressed, we want to know that so that we can address it within the training that we're doing. Right? And even if it's not currently presenting, we want to know that what that's been so we know what your experience has been like, because that's all information and data that we use when we're putting together the program for you. So that's number one, is the injury history. Number two is going to be training history. The reason that this is important for us, the training history, is that helps to tell us what your training age is. So two different examples. One, the person has been training for a year. Second example, the person has been training for 6 years. That's important for us to know because that gives us data on how progressed that person is in training and how trained they are and what they're going to be able to handle within the training, right? So we're getting that information, not only injury history, but then also your training history, how long you've been doing that, and what that's looked like for you. So has it been, bodybuilding stuff? That's where a lot of people start. Has it been athletic stuff? What has it been so that we know what it is that you've done, as well as if you've done any of our stuff, whether it be a 4-week program or other things like that. So we're taking both of those in on that initial call, and then in addition to those on the initial call, we're also going to look at some practicals. So, first of all, in addition to that, we're going to look at like your own goals and targets. So we want to know, what is your situation? Are you in college? Are you a pro guy? Are you in high school? Do you have an injury? What is it that you're actually dealing with, and what is it that you're preparing for? It's like, what is that next thing that you want? Is it to be healthy? Is it to get to the college level? Is it to get to the pro level? What is that for you, so we know what it is so that we can work with you, obviously, to get you to that point. So goals and targets, injury history, training history, and then also some more practical stuff. So that's going to be schedule, looking at what do you have available. And just to give a data point on this for schedule, we have guys that will train anywhere from once a day, 3 times a week, all the way up to 7 days a week with 4 to 5 of those days being 2 sessions a day, multiple sessions a day. Those guys are mostly our rehab guys or our pro guys or our college guys that are really getting after it. And then again, we also have some guys that do like 3 days a week for an hour a day or whatever that is there. So we have that full spectrum that we can work within your schedule, but we just need to know what we can present, what it is that we think is best, and then we need to know what your schedule is so that we can make sure that we fit that and again, get you what you want. Because that's like, this is all the mechanics of it, but our real target is figure out what it is that you want, do everything we possibly can to help you get to that point. None of this matters if we don't help you get to that point. So that is our primary goal, and this is just the mechanics again of how we set that up. So we get your schedule, we get what equipment you have as well as what you'll need, and that's just to give you like straight up front, that's pretty basic. It's basic gym equipment. The thing that we use that is a little bit different is the impulse rope. Those are like 20 to 30 bucks. We'll be coming out with one very soon. Those are like 20 to 30 bucks, and you can get one of those pretty easily. But we'll be looking at schedule. We'll be looking at equipment. Also other programs so that we can take into account. Let's say you're a college guy, you're a pro guy, you have the program from your team that you have to do. We want to know, we're going to have you send that to us so we can see what it is, what days you're doing that, what exercise you're doing, so we make sure that we're not repeating things, and so that we can make sure that we best complement that or add to that, right? So that you're actually getting a full-on approach of what you're actually getting a full-on attack of the whole system without repeating things, right? So that's vital for us to have is even if it's you're doing PT or something like that, we need to know what it is that you're doing outside of what we have you doing so that we can take that into account. And that's taken it on the initial call, and obviously that's kept up on as we go through the training, as I'll get into later because it's daily feedback. So schedule, equipment, other programs, even though that doesn't really look like other programs, that's what it says. And then we'll also take you briefly through TrueCoach. So I'll show you right now. This TrueCoach is the program or the app that we use to actually write the programming. And so I'll give you a look at that. This is an example of an athlete that we had. And so right here you can see that there are 6 days programmed for him this week. And so basically what that looks like is if we click on a session, we're going to have a description of what it is that we're going to have the exercise that you're doing. We're going to have a description of how you're doing it as well as the sets and reps, right? And then what you'll actually, if I click this button here, the edit button there are also going to be the demo videos. So these are demo videos that we have for you. So let's say light bar RDC. RDC just stands for rapid drop catch. You'll be able to click on that. You'll be able to watch the demo video for that. So there will be a demo video for every exercise that we have you do, as well as a very in-depth description of how you're doing it, what the intent is, what we want you to get out of it, and that will all be matched up along with telling you how many sets, reps, etc. And then the second part that you can see is, if we go to not edit this piece, this one maybe? Good. So if we go to not edit this piece, so this is one that this athlete had already done. And so what you'll see is on the app, you'll get the description, sets, reps, exercise, demo videos, that. And then what we see on our end is this, right? And so we'll be able to see, you'll be able to write written feedback. And then we'll also be able to see any videos that you took so that we can look through and make sure that you're doing things well, or just any corrections that need to be made. Or even if there's any questions that you have that you want to ask us, like, hey, I felt this on this. This is what it looked like. What do you think? There will also sometimes be certain exercises, especially at the start. At the start, we'll want to see, ideally, 1 or 2 weeks of 3 to 4 exercises every day so that we can get an idea of how you move. Because remember in the initial call, right? In our initial call, we're going through injury history, we're going through training history, we're going through goals, targets, we're going through schedule, equipment, what does that say again? Other programs, we're going through TrueCoach, right? But we're not seeing how you move. So where we see how you move is right here. When we're doing that, when we're doing those first couple weeks, you're going to be dropping in videos so that we can get an idea of how you actually move as an athlete, and that will help us in our programming as well. So that's what TrueCoach is. And the way that we do that for our one-on-one guys is, and you can see here, like at the bottom, then this is feedback that I can drop based off of the videos and the feedback that he has. And so how we program is it's daily. And so what that means is today is Friday, right? Today's Friday. So what we do on Friday is we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at what you did on Thursday, and then we're programming for Saturday. And then when Saturday comes, we're looking at what you did on Friday, and we're programming for Sunday. And again, some guys have, Sunday off. We don't train. Not all of our guys train 7 days a week, and even our guys that do, most times Sunday will be like a back off day, a light day. Again, that's worked into our schedule when we're talking to you on the phone. It's worked into our schedule when we're talking on your phone, and it's based upon what it is that you want to get to, right? Obviously, the greater your target is, the more that we're going to need to do. If your target is a little bit more like you have other things going on, then obviously we take that into account as well. But that's how we program is, if it's Tuesday, we're looking at what you did on Monday, and then we're programming for Wednesday. Then on Wednesday, we're looking at what you did on Tuesday, and we're programming for Thursday. And so it just hops day to day like that, so the programming is very updated. You're not getting a 4-week program in advance that we don't change until the end of the month. We're literally looking at it every single day so that we can make sure it's as efficient and effective as possible. Because again, if we go back to the start, our goal is to do everything we possibly can to get what it is that you want to get out of this programming and make sure that we're doing our part on our end to get that for you. And then it's obviously up to you on your end as well to do the work to get what it is that you want out of it, because we're going to be doing that on our end, right? So it's that mutual relationship working back and forth. But so that's what the True Coach looks like. That's what you'll actually get in terms of the programming will be that. And so we'll go over that on our initial call. That'll be part of what we'll go through there. Let me see if I have anything else. Injury history, training history, schedule, equipment, other programs. Let's see. Oh, goals and targets. Yeah. Okay, good. So that's essentially what we'll be going on. What we'll be going through on that initial call. So just to walk through it again, it's first registration. Once registration is done, you get an email with a one-on-one pack. You get an email with a link to set up your call. That call will be set up within a day or two. And then from there on our call, we're taking in injury history, training history, goals, targets, and then we're going through these aspects here of schedule, equipment, other programs, and then also how the True Coach works so that you have a full understanding of that. From that point, after that initial call, that's when we actually get into the training, right? So literally the day after that will be your first day of training. And then from there we go on the schedule that we've laid out. And we just get after it from that point. And the athlete will have full-on communication with their coach, and so that includes what you saw on True Coach with the feedback that can be dropped there. They'll also have their coach's number to communicate back and forth through text. So oftentimes what happens is, if there's something on the True Coach, like if there's some type of question on the True Coach of an exercise or they felt some type of feedback, a lot of times what I will do or what our coaches will do will be like, we'll say, gonna send a text here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll send a text. It could be a video, like a short video, a 30-second video, 60-second video of like, hey, when your shoulder's here in this thing, do this, right? Super simple, quick communication. And so that's how we'll do a lot of that. But the athlete will have full access to the coach through text every day. And then also if there's something more in depth that needs to be talked about, then there's also the option to set up another call, and there's no additional charge on the extra call, assuming we have something to talk about. Like we're not going to just talk about. We're not going to set up a call with nothing to talk about, but assuming that there's something to really dive into, set up a call, no additional cost, because again, the goal is to get you what it is that you came here to get. All this other stuff are just the mechanics and the pieces going in place. But so we then, from that point on, we train. We're going day to day based off the schedule that you've set. We're keeping in communication with you on your schedule so that if your schedule changes, like if your game's schedule changes, or if you're not an athlete and you're working, your work schedule changes, if little tweaks and things come up, you're always communicating that with your coach so that they can make sure that they adjust both the training as well as the schedule to keep you on the most efficient, effective program that we possibly can. So that's what we're doing on our end to make sure that we can get you what it is that you need to get. And then, like I said, there's also your end doing the work there as well. But that's our one-on-ones, and yeah, we do our absolute best to get what it is that you need.